Welcome back to another discussion. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark YouTube channel, also known as the Rational Wrestling Viewer. I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be giving my honest opinion of Dominik Mysterio as a heel. So Dominik Mysterio, originally, when he first joined the Judgment Day, I was kind of iffy about that. I didn't think that was a smart move to make. And I didn't think it would work. You know, when they first did the heel turn, Dom turning on Rey Mysterio, I wasn't expecting Dominik Mysterio to really work as a heel because it just didn't fit. I always thought, much like his father, he's a natural babyface. And at that point, expectations were pretty low for Dominik because he wasn't really polished. He wasn't established yet. He was still green in the ring. But I saw improvements. Like every time he had a match, I would see some improvements in his wrestling. But the Dominik Mysterio that we had like in the summer of 2022 to the Dominik Mysterio that we have now, currently, it's literally day and night. You can definitely tell those two versions of Dominik Mysterio apart. There's a big difference in character development. And he's done amazing work as a heel lately. Amazing work. Like ever since his WrestleMania feud with his dad, Rey Mysterio. But that's been going on since September of 2022. But like going into WrestleMania, months leading up to WrestleMania, you really saw the character change in Dominik. You really saw a new edge, right, in his character. And he's getting genuine heat from the crowd. And it's apparent that the crowd don't like this guy. Every time he shows up, every time he opens his mouth, the crowd is quick to boo him. And then when I see that, it's like, that's how a heel is supposed to be. That's exactly what a heel is. That's the definition. A heel is supposed to get real, genuine heat. Not go away heat. Like, we want to see you get your ass kicked type of heat. And that's why Dom's on TV every week. Because he just gets that reaction. He doesn't have to say nothing. All he has to do is show his face. And when he opens his mouth, the heat, it just increases. The crowd's, the crowd's hatred towards this guy is very deep. And it just goes to show you how beloved Rey Mysterio is. You know? The crowd is obviously against, a son turning on his father. A son disobeying his father. Let alone beating up his own father. The segments that they did in Rey's house during Thanksgiving and Christmas when Dom and Rhea came barging in, and Dom and Rhea jumping Rey Mysterio in his own house in his own house, beating him down, throwing down a family picture. Hell, you had Ray's wife slap Rhea Ripley. Then Dom gets arrested, goes to jail, and he starts to make that his character now as Prison Dom. You know, which I thought was pretty funny, I ain't gonna lie. But overall, man, it can be argued that Dominik Mysterio is the top heel in wrestling right now. I will go as far as to say he's a better heel than MJF. And that's saying something. He's a far better heel than Roman Reigns. In my opinion. This is just my opinion. He's a far better heel than Roman Reigns right now. Like Roman, he gets his heats, don't get me wrong. But there have been times where he would get cheered. The crowd would be on his side. The crowd wants to cheer for MJF. You know? But when Dominik Mysterio comes out, nobody wants to cheer for Dominik. Nobody. Everybody hates his guts. And that's what you want. You want your heel on your wrestling show to be hated. 100% booed out the building. That's how it goes. That's a traditional heel. A traditional wrestling heel is not someone that just gets cheered on one show and booed the next show. No. A wrestling heel is not someone that just gets a 50-50 reaction. You know? But in my opinion, overall in wrestling, Dominik Mysterio is the number one heel. And he don't even have to wrestle a lot. You know, he doesn't do a whole bunch of fancy maneuvers. He doesn't need to. He doesn't need to wrestle. All he needs to do is talk on the microphone and show his face, and boom. Boom. The crowd despises him instantly. They're never going to forget all the things that Dom has done to his father and his family. And his family, his own family. Disrespecting not only his own father, but disrespecting his own mother too, and his sister. Throwing water on his own sister in the crowd. That's a dick move, man. That's a dick move right there. There is no way that Dominik Mysterio can ever be a babyface ever again. I don't think it will ever work. If he were to turn babyface next year, I don't think it would work. Because of all the work he has done as a heel. It's hard to turn someone like that a babyface and to convince the crowd to like them and to cheer them again. If the plan was to turn Dominik Mysterio heel down the line, you're going to have to do a lot of convincing to the audience to have them cheer for Dominik. It's going to take a lot of convincing, a lot of work. But I would never even turn Dom face ever again. He's a forever heel. Just like Rey Mysterio is forever a babyface. Rey Mysterio can never be a heel in his entire career. It just can never happen. Because he's just that underdog. That ultimate underdog, right? The little man. You know, he's like a superhero in the ring, doing all these cool moves, these luchador moves. That excites the crowd. How can you dislike Rey Mysterio? At this point, how can you cheer for Dominik Mysterio? How can you like Dominik after all the things he's done to his own father? And allowing himself to be manipulated by Judgment Day. So, yeah, my opinion, never turn Dom heel. Never do that. He's the top heel in wrestling, not just in WWE, but in wrestling, period. MJF, he's close, but I'm not putting him number one. And neither am I putting Roman Reigns number one. Maybe back in 2021, 2020, I would probably put Roman as the top heel. But now, Dominik Mysterio, he took number one, in my opinion. There's nobody that's more hated, more despised as a heel right now than Dominik Mysterio. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So with that being said, this is another edition of Wrestling Talk, another wrestling discussion from the Rational Wrestling Mark, aka Rational Wrestling Viewer. So with that being said, make sure y'all like for the algorithm, subscribe today for more content, and I'm out. Peace.